X to be neutral, and they can no longer take X away from the spread of disinformation, which lots of people are claiming is happening. It does, in full disclosure, have a community notice feature that allows people to say when people aren't telling the truth or they're not perceived to be telling the truth, but there does seem to be a wider spread of misinformation. In answer to your point about political neutrality,
yes,
I think it's a really good one. And I do think if Musk, like Jack Dorsey, the previous owner and person that ran X, formerly Twitter, if he'd have been more neutral, I don't think we would be having the problems and the exodus that's happening. But the exodus...
Is it a mass exodus, though, is my question to you? Is it a case that this is more around political figures, organisations, newspapers such as The Guardian, who are, leaving X? What about the average Joe?
It's a really good point.
Or not?
It's a really good point. I was actually attracted to a post that the author Irving Welsh pushed recently. And he said, one, Blue Sky, which is his preferred alternative, is a lot less algorithmic. So Twitter used to be great because it just used to be a feed of people posting. Now there is a lot more of the algorithm at play.
Sure.
I get served posts from people I don't follow. I get served information that I've not requested. So there does seem to be more of an agenda on X. And then I suppose the other question is, where are people going? So Threads launched from Meta, the owners of Instagram, and Threads obviously got a huge boost in the number of users because everybody that had an Instagram account automatically got a Threads account. But Threads seems to have eschewed news and politics, whereas Twitter was very big on news and politics. Mastodon is another one where lots of people went, but it hasn't really got the critical mass. Lots of people are talking about Blue Sky, but in answer to your question, having said at the top of this conversation that X is pretty small with over 500 million users, Blue Sky today released figures saying it has broken 15 million users worldwide. So it's much, much smaller.
Sure.
But we are seeing it growing. And in terms of the mass exodus, there are an awful lot of posts on X at the moment saying, I'm in the other place. Some people are saying... I mean, for example, Blue Sky, the app which looks to rival X, as you've already outlined, James, it's gained over 700,000 new users in the week following the election. Yes.
I guess my question to you is that indicative of what we see taking place in the coming weeks and months with the transition from obviously Joe Biden to Donald Trump becoming president?
Well, it's funny. It's partly because I knew we were having this conversation, partly because I should have done it before now. As part of my research, I set up a Blue Sky account. My first post on Blue Sky was to say I'd be coming on this program talking about X. And it seems very welcoming. It seems a lot less algorithmic. There are no ads, and at the moment there are no plans to have ads.
Sure.
But for organic content, i.e. stuff coming from real people, it seems very welcoming. And if anybody's listening thinking about going to Blue Sky, there are lots of what they call starter packs, which if you search for starter pack, it will give you a starter pack of people to follow.
I see.
So it seems like a really good place.
Can I ask you this then, James?
Yeah, of course.
And of course, this is your perspective. I introduced you, if anyone's tuning into Radio London, you're a technology and social media expert. So I'm just intrigued on the day-to-day work that you do. Would you ever advise any of your clients to not be on a site like X? And if so, what would be the alternative that you would be advising them to choose?
So two-part question, and one of the things I should have said, this exodus from X has not happened since the election. This exodus from X has been happening since the Musk takeover.
Okay.
So advertisers have been leaving X. And again, I'll put some links on my social media, but advertisers plan to reduce their spend on X quite considerably a long time before Musk came out as pro-Trump as he did. So this has been happening. And when you lose the commerce element of a platform, you start start to lose the culture and indeed the users. So we have advised clients, particularly if they've got something to say that is positive, joyful, to not look at Twitter or X.
Okay.
In terms of the alternatives, there are lots. I mean, Instagram and TikTok lead the way in terms of marketing budgets on social media.
Sure.
Internationally, Facebook is still huge, so it's always worth considering that. But yes, in short, we have suggested, and we are very closely looking at Blue Sky, particularly as far as content creators are concerned, because we like to see where the next emerging platforms are going to come from.
It's a lot for many people to digest, though, isn't it? Because most of us will be on social media, sometimes even hours, out of the day. And if you've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, and then, X or possibly not X, and then Blue Sky, it's a lot to manage, is it not?
It is a lot to manage, and I think one needs, again, it comes down to the user's journey and how controlled the user can be.
Right.
I think it comes down to being disciplined and knowing what you're using each platform for. For example, if you're going to X or maybe Blue Sky for your politics, if you're going to LinkedIn for your professional updates, if you're going to Instagram or TikTok for your restaurant reviews. The other thing that's shifted, Shay, is search is now, social is becoming the new search. So actually people are less and less going to a Google, another search engine, and they're going straight to social media to search for what they're looking for, whether that be restaurant reviews, cat food, politics, anything.
Any aspect of their lives. Listen, James, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. Look forward to you coming in for our next segment of Ready, Tech, Go very soon. And people can find you then. Are we now saying to get on Blue Sky to find you, are we? What are we saying here? I'm
too addicted, Shay. I'm not going to leave X yet, but I am going to keep a foot in both camps. So I'm at James Erskine on both X and Blue Sky.
Lovely. I'm going to dedicate this to anyone who's not sure if they should stay or go with X. Thanks for joining me, James.
Thanks, Shay. That was great.